This video is going to help you with making the bar graph and the column graph. So what you're going to do is thinking about some data, and as you can see in the doc, if you haven't done your formulas, this would be a good time to do your formulas. You can watch this video tutorial and maybe come up with something like this. And I'm going to be using this data for the directions that I am about to follow. So the first thing that I'm going to do is click on the graph icon in Adobe Illustrator CS5. So here's the graph icon. And I'm going to be doing this first one, and then I'm going to make some space for it here, and immediately something pops up. So I'm going to look over at my data, and I'm going to use Snapchat, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram since they seem to be the most popular. So Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And then I'm going to type that right in there. So Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And then in this next column, I'm going to put the values. So 74 people said they use Snapchat, 45 said they use Facebook, 44 said YouTube, and another 74 for Instagram. Then I'm going to click this check mark, and that's going to make my first version. If you want to, you can work with this version, but I also want you to transpose it so you can see what that looks like, and then give that a check mark, and that gives you a legend as well as your charts. But you are already very skilled at doing a lot of these changes from the other tutorial and other things that you've done. So I'm going to leave this one like this for now. And then I'm going to go grab this black arrow and click away. Then I'm going to get the white arrow and I'm going to go making appropriate colors, because I would not want to leave this in black and white because it doesn't look that attractive. Somewhat matching the colors. I don't really know what color would go with Instagram, but I'm gonna go with this tomato shade. Actually that looks incongruent because it is a gradient and the other ones are not, so I'm gonna go with this instead. So now that I've gotten that part, I can also start to drag these words, and again, due to the talents that you've developed already, you could go into the vertical type tool and you could type, and you could drag that over, and by using the shift key you could enlarge the font, making it so that people could use it, see it. And you want to make sure that your font matches other fonts. At least you don't want to have more than 3 different fonts. So at this point this would be my third one, but I'm going to match it to my title font. And then you could continue to make these words on these other ones, or you could decide to do it in a different way, but you need to have labels so that someone could understand what your chart is about. Then, and remember the white arrow will let you work with sub pieces. The other thing you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that you have written something here that will explain to people what exactly is going on. So I could write number of BLA students in survey who used the above social media. And then I'm going to put that over here. It would be helpful to know how many were surveyed. And then I'm going to take this whole thing, and it's way too big. So I'm going to use the scale tool, and I'm going to make it 25% of the size that it is, which I think is actually too small. So I'm going to go back and try to make it larger. And now I'm going to hold the shift key down and stretch it. Whoops. Never mind that. I think I'll use the scale tool. I'm going to double its size. And maybe it's still not big enough. So I'm going to double it one more time. Yeah, now it's too big. You may have to play around with this until you get it to be the size that you want it to, or you could use the stretching and moving tool. It is up to you. And then I'm going to find a place on here where this would be appropriate. And I'm actually going to also move my text to here, line it up so it looks nice. And I also know that later, once I have everything on here, which we'll have a lot for this one, and then I'll be able to move things around to make them look nicer. So that is the first chart that you are going to make. That is this one.